And good morning, and welcome to the WSJM Morning Show for Monday, January 20th, 2025. It's 7 a.m. our time here as we start this broadcast. I'm Ken Lundberg. Here with me this morning is Mike Wyble. Good morning, Mike.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming back, taking a hooky.
That's right.
Vacation time, just playing around in the snow.
Yeah. Just enjoying the lovely outdoor activities.
It's, let's see, it's Martin Luther King Day. It's Inauguration Day.
Yep.
It's you found some other days. What else is it?
It's National Penguin Day.
National Penguin Day. It's National Cheese Day.
Cheese Day. National Coffee Break Day. National Take a Walk Outside Day.
So all these national days, they're
gotten out of hand.
9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100. They're put together by folks who want to promote something.
Right.
So like if you're the National Association of Broccoli Growers or whatever, you want to sell more of your crop, and so you're going to do National Broccoli Day. Can you look up and see if we have a National Broccoli Day? I bet we do. I bet we do. Let's see. But we do have Martin Luther King Day today to celebrate and recognize and talk about public service and everything else. And then we also have Inauguration Day, great day in our country because it's a smooth transition of power. As called for in the Constitution. So we will bring you special coverage today from ABC. That starts at 11 o'clock this morning here on our airwaves on WSJM, where we will have wall-to-wall coverage, just
wall-to-wall.
Just getting the special ceremonies, broadcasting them, hearing the inaugural speech, and everything else. So it'll be fun.
Play-by-play of the inaugural ball crawl.
The play-by-play. He's down on the 20.
Right. He's back.
He's going. It's fourth and 4.
So National Broccoli Day.
Yeah.
It's funny when I did the search, it asked if I wanted 2025 or 2024. Is actually March 22nd. It's a Saturday.
Why is March 22nd? Do they strategically put it in front of Easter with enough time so it gets ingrained? So you make sure.
It says it's celebrated annually on this date.
Okay. All right. Maybe we should have a national day of some sort. Establish a day. The National Morning Show Day.
I like that.
Although National WSJM Morning Show Day. Because I know there's already a morning show day.
Right. But we tried to get name the turkey for that was going to get pardoned, and we got shot down on that one.
I don't know if we got shot down.
Well, we didn't get chosen.
Good morning. Bill has already checked in. He says, good morning, guys. He says, stay warm and safe today. We will. Thank you. In fact, Mike was thinking about me yesterday. He texted last night after I was already asleep. And he said,
like 6 o'clock.
And he said, wear your cardigan.
Yeah.
I don't know what time it was. I stopped checking my texts after a while.
I know you're hard to reach on text. You're not plugged in. Don't say that about you. But unless you're here you're plugged in. But once it gets to be,
I could be a drone. I could be a robot. We were talking about Stuart and I was with visiting with Stuart yesterday, and he has his new project. I don't think he'll mind me telling you about this. Turn that off.
It's you again.
And so one of those things that he wants to do is build an underwater drone. He has the air drones.
Oh.
And he's really good about it. He took it on a recent trip and was giving me this amazing footage of where he was from his drone. I kept cautioning him, stay within the legal limit. Do not fly above 400 feet. It is a federal law. It's like, well, but the drone will go higher. No, don't do that. Because, the drones, they used to have a governor.
Yeah.
It was an automatic governor that would not allow you to fly in certain areas above a certain limit, whatever it was dictated because of Arizona and all that other stuff. China took that off because they are the drone company.
Right.
They took it off. So now you can accidentally fly
right
in the wrong areas.
Right.
All right. More coming up. It's the WSJM Morning Show. We've got news in just a moment. We'll check the weather. It's cold out there. But we'll tell you exactly how cold coming up.
You or your business settle your tax debt quickly and affordably. Call the Tax Relief Helpers hotline at 800-885-0622. That's 800-885-0622. Start your relief today.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
It is the WSJM Morning Show. Good morning. Happy Monday to you. It's Monday, January 20th, 7:05 a.m. And we've already talked about how bitterly cold it is out there. So we'll give you the forecast in just a moment. But Mike was putting things in perspective. Good morning. I'm Ken Lundberg, and with me this morning is Mike Wyble. Mike was giving perspective just a few moments ago about Canada, how the temperature up there, without even considering the wind chill.
No,
without even considering the wind chill. In the coldest part of Canada, how cold is it?
Armstrong, Ontario is 107 degrees negative Fahrenheit.
So it's fine here. It's actually balmy here.
Right.
Here we have no problem whatsoever.
So today in Armstrong, Ontario is probably like summer.
Yeah. I don't know. I bet, yeah, that's cold.
For the Bears.
Winter weather advisory continues for Berrien and Cass counties today until 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. There's a cold weather advisory in effect for the entire area until 10 a.m. Wednesday. So we can expect these cold temperatures to continue. Today and tomorrow, I mean, really, it's just going to be mostly cloudy with a chance of lake effect snow continuing. We're already seeing some of the bands drop some of that. And the winds are going to continue out of the west, gusting to 30 miles per hour. That's going to keep the wind chill somewhere around minus 20 at times. Be careful. Mostly cloudy skies tomorrow. Chance of lake effect snow continuing. The high is going to be around 3. The wind chill is still going to set us at about minus 20, and the gusts are going to go to 25 miles per hour. By the time we hit Wednesday, we're going to start to warm back up. It's going to be a slow climb. The low overnight into Wednesday is going to be around minus 3, but then we're going to get a high Wednesday of about 18 degrees. Thursday, 25 degrees. Friday, 25 degrees. Saturday, 30 degrees. The key temperature range that I always look at is around, sometimes when you get into the lower teens, when you get into the lower teens, the stuff you put on the roads to keep them from icing up stops working.
Yeah, it does.
And so right now we're in that zone. We're in that zone. So do be careful. The roads are a little bit slippery out there. I think the plows have taken a stance of, we're going to clear the bulk of it off, but you're on your own when it comes to that ice.
Yeah, there's nothing they can do.
There's sand. They're putting the sand down.
Yeah.
So that's good.
But the wind's probably blowing the sand right into the neighbor's yard.
The wind is blowing the sand back to the beach.
Right.
Or somewhere. All right. Some of the news that we're following this morning from the WSJM newsroom. As the sub-zero temperatures and dangerous wind chills come into Michigan this week, Michigan State Police urging people to take precautions and stay safe. Agency spokesperson Lauren Thompson Phillips tells us with the cold here, people need to bundle up and limit their time outdoors. That goes especially for some of the young people.
You definitely want to be covering all exposed skin, especially if schools do hold class. If your children are going to school that day and they are standing out at a bus stop, you definitely want to make sure that they're bundled up. And if they do have to stand at a bus stop, if there's any way that you can stay there in your car and have them sit in your car until the bus comes, that would be the best idea.
Thompson Phillips also says if you're planning to be out and about, she recommends preparing for any kind of travel emergency.
You want to have supplies in your car for worst case scenario, blankets, hats, gloves, that type of thing, that if you ever were trapped in your car, you can stay there and stay warm. And staying there is key. You never want to walk away from your car. You always want to stay with your car and wait for help rather than attempt to walk.
I mean, we had that news story a couple of weeks ago about the individual.
Guy.
A senior. I would say he was in his 60s.
Yeah.
He wrecked his car. There was a crash, and then he walked away from it. But he didn't know where he was, and he walked for maybe a couple hours before basically lying down in the snow because he was tired. Could have died. Could have died. And was suffering some effects from hypothermia when law enforcement found him. Fortunately, found him alive. But that's nothing to mess around with. So do be careful out there.
Bill brings up a great point. Just imagine how cold it would be right now without global warming. Thanks, global warming.
Other news that we're following this morning: the city of Benton Harbor is facing a slight cash crunch in part due to the cost of insurance going up. Speaking to the City Personnel and Finance Committee, City Manager Alex Little said when the current budget was drafted, it anticipated a surplus for the year of $44,000. However, the city's insurance costs have since gone from $500,000 to $700,000 for the year. He said adjustments are now being made.
We're making every other effort we can to trim cost where we can and still try and accomplish the things that we've got to do.
Little said another problem is that the fees the city charges residents for things like trash pickup and construction permits are outdated and a bit too low.
That is why it's so critical and crucial that we do the things that we've been talking about, such as adjusting these fees related to building and construction, adjusting these fees related to trash pickup, and every other service that we provide.
Little said Benton Township, for example, charges more for trash pickup than Benton Harbor. He added the amount of trash the city collects for residents is larger than what's offered in many municipalities. Committee member and city commissioner Edward Isom wondered if receptacles the city is providing are too large. Little said commissioners will have to address the trash collection fees while he works to ensure the city stays within budget. Have you seen, I mean, they're currently using 95-gallon trash receptacles.
Okay.
Those are huge.
Yeah.
Out in California when we were out there over the Christmas holiday, they look like the little set you get with the little baking kit for kids. They're very tiny.
Yeah.
In fact, the trash receptacles, it basically looked like our daily trash bucket. And the recycle things were like the 95 gallon things.
Right.
I don't know. Anyway.
But are they really recycling?
Well, that's my question is, do they really recycle? Because we've heard so many stories about where those things go. All right. One other story that we wanted to bring to you. A Benton Harbor man has been sentenced to 100 months in prison in a federal gun case. U.S. Attorney Mark Taunton says 47-year-old Lamont Terrell Turner was convicted of being a felon in possession of a firearm with a record of several prior convictions that included assault, unarmed robbery, domestic violence, and assault on a police officer. Taunton says Turner was arrested when police executed a search warrant at an apartment where Turner was staying. They found a gun hidden under a couch next to where Turner was sleeping. Subsequent testing found Turner's DNA on the firearm. Additionally, Taunton says the recovered gun was determined to be the last one that was recovered of the 123 firearms that were stolen during that 2023 Dunham's robbery.
Wow.
Yeah. So
not the gun you want to be found with.
No. I mean, you're already in possession, allegedly in possession of a gun that you're not supposed to have, and it turns out it was stolen.
It was hot.
The conviction of Turner comes as part of Project Safe Neighborhoods, a collaboration of federal, state, and local law enforcement seeking to crack down on violent crime. Taunton says his office is committed to stopping the proliferation of illegal guns flooding our communities, adding it will use all available tools to do so. By the way, Mark Taunton, the U.S. attorney, as all U.S. attorneys, they're politically appointed.
Correct.
So he says, yeah, I'm done today. So we'll look for a new U.S. attorney.
Okay.
To be coming in soon.
Well, thanks, Mark.
Yeah. So anyway, he was very good about sending out, news releases and that kind of stuff, and doing the law enforcement.
Yeah.
So, all right, that's a look at some of the news that we have from the WSJM newsroom. Now we'll be talking about some more of the news. It's MLK Day. It's Inauguration Day. It's Costco might go on strike day. Did you hear about that?
Yeah.
You like Costco.
I do like Costco.
Everyone likes Costco. So some of their workers are a little torqued about some of the work policies. So we'll talk a little bit about that coming up right here on WSJM.
NFL playoffs from over the weekend. On Saturday, the best season in Lions franchise history came to a crashing halt with a 45-31 loss to Washington.
All right. WSJM Morning Show video live stream. Good morning. I see. You were reading Bill's comment from the live stream.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Stuart. Stuart, do not text and drive. You are in such big trouble.
Stuart, don't listen to your dad. So tell us where you're at and what the temperature is.
Yeah, don't text while you drive.
Yeah, so pull over to the side of the road.
By the way, we're looking for a new part-time co-host on Mondays and Fridays. Totally unrelated.
In other news.
Yeah. Bill says, just imagine how cold it would be without global warming.
I think I said that.
I thought they said that the global warming was now climate change.
It is. Yeah, okay. They went through a marketing firm and decided that climate or global warming was discriminatory. And so now if some places are getting warmer, they don't want to be left out.
Oh, boy.
So that's why now it's climate change.
That's funny. Let's see what else. Yeah, it's not going to be warm today.
You know what I've been asked over the past weekend?
Do tell.
Is where are the best places to take kids sledding in Southwest Michigan?
Okay. What'd you find out?
Well, I just told them my personal opinions, which was, I said, the number one spot that I know of, run up here was Grand Mere.
Oh,
You go through the state park over there. Don't go through the neighborhood side on the other side because they give out tickets, and I'm bitter about that. But anyhow,
they give out tickets for sledding?
for
What are you
parking,
drinking there?
green tea.
Oh, look at you.
I know.
That's very fancy. He's got a very stainless steel thermos here.
I'm fancy. You know that about me.
And yeah. Green tea? What kind of green tea? Is it special green tea?
No, it's just green tea.
Okay. What about black tea? Do you like black tea?
I don't know.
You don't like black tea?
I'm not a big tea person other than green tea.
Okay.
Like the whole chamomile and all that.
Yeah.
No.
I love tea. There's this one, it's called like Apso, what, I can't remember even, but it smells like burnt pine needles.
Oh, interesting.
It's very manly. It's not like chamomile. It's
what was that? Grape nuts? Remember grape nuts? The guy, the cereal, grape nuts.
Yeah.
cereal? And he was always like out there eating like pine cones and whatnot. And that was the way he it was all natural because he was. Yeah,
that's funny. All right, let's see what else do we have going on here. Oh, we'll talk about the Costco strike. Although I also saw another story and I couldn't find it. Maybe it's here by now. But another story about Costco laying off some of the back office workers, not the staff. Did you see that one?
No.
Costco.
Let's see. But back to my story about sledding.
Yeah. So Grand Mere,
Warren Dunes State Park, another really great place, but you got to be committed because you got to walk up that dune. And then there's other little kind of nice little places around that you can find to take little kids sledding. But if you have kids, it's cold today.
Yes.
But if you're not from around here and you bring your kids in, one way to help them get acclimated is let them know that winter can be fun. Take them out sledding, take them out to places. But Grand Mere is great. It's a little bit of a walk to get in. But once you get in there, it doesn't cost you anything. And there's all kinds of different size hills and it's good stuff.
Okay. Back to the show. It's 7:17.
Through the day. High temperatures today around 8 to 10 degrees, but wind chills at times near minus 20. We drop down to 0 tonight and only 3 tomorrow, still with lake effect snow showers ongoing. I'm WSBT 22 Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
Just a quick traffic update. Northbound I-196 after the Red Arrow Highway exit number 1, the left lane's blocked due to a crash. So just a reminder, be careful out there because it's slippery and some visibility issues as well. So again, northbound I-196 after Red Arrow Highway exit 1, left lane blocked due to a crash. That is in Berrien County. Some of the news, good morning, and welcome to the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg. Here with me this morning is Mike Wyble. It's 7 degrees out in Benton Harbor, but the feels like is minus 10, and you can expect that all over the region right now. Dowagiac is 4 degrees, but I think they're actually warmer than us. The feels like is only minus 5.
Wow.
Dowagiac right now.
It's all the flames and smoke coming from Buchanan.
Flames and smoke?
Yeah, from all the weed shops.
Oh, so the Costco.
Walked right into that one, didn't you?
I don't even know what to say to that. Costco Teamsters union members working at Costco wholesale locations across the country. You shop at Costco.
Yeah.
Do their workers seem mistreated?
They seem to be pretty happy.
I mean, it seems like I haven't been there in years, but I mean, every time I've been there, they're always happy and helpful.
Yeah. No, it's a great experience.
The union members at Costco wholesale locations across the country have voted to authorize a strike with more than 85% of members in favor of hitting the picket lines. Is now the time to be striking? The union represents more than 18,000 Costco employees nationally. What they said in a press release yesterday, our members have spoken loud and clear. Costco must deliver a fair contract or they'll be held accountable. From day one, we've told Costco our members won't work a day past January 31 without a historic industry-leading agreement. Costco's greedy executives, they say, have less than 2 weeks to do the right thing. If they refuse, they'll have no one to blame but themselves when our members go on strike. Them's fighting words.
Yeah.
Ugh.
No, so they pushed it out to the 31st when the weather gets a little bit warmer.
Right. hopefully it won't be sub-zero.
We're going to strike as soon as it gets to be 36 degrees.
The union says fair wages and benefits are what's driving this issue. According to the union, the wholesale giant recently reported $254 billion in annual revenue and $7.4 billion in net profits. That's not including the tires. Oh, maybe it is, which marked 135. You ever get tires at Costco?
Yeah,
I love the tire section at Costco.
I do too.
It smells so good.
It does.
Love the smell of tires. Yeah, they are very nice. Very efficient. Yet despite these record gains, the company refuses to meet the Teamsters' demands for fair wages and benefits that reflect the company's enormous success. Yeah. So anyway, Costco. We'll see about that.
See how that goes.
I mean, because you think about Costco, if you're a Costco employee and you're going to go get ready to walk off, do they have Costco size picket signs that they can buy there?
Oh, they might be able to buy boards really cheap.
Get them in bulk. Bird flu. This one was a little bit concerning. I know that I talk about the bird flu thing, and it's largely because it has affected poultry colonies in Michigan,
right?
In our area, I think they've gotten as close as Ottawa. Maybe I don't know if they've been in Allegan County, but definitely Ottawa. Georgia has now all poultry activities have been suspended in the state of Georgia. After bird flu was confirmed in a commercial poultry operation there. The positive bird flu case was in Elbert County. It was confirmed by the Georgia Department of Agriculture and the USDA. This marks the first time that the bird flu there has been confirmed in a commercial poultry operation in Georgia since the nationwide outbreak began back in 2022. It's the fifth time the virus has been detected in the state. So that means all poultry exhibitions, shows, swaps, meets, and sales in Georgia suspended until further notice.
So there's going to be a lot of chickens that are going to be unalived.
Yeah. What do? They
that's a word for it.
They do something. They basically have to destroy in the affected crops. Let's see. Also, all commercial poultry operations within a 6-mile radius placed under quarantine. They'll undergo surveillance and testing for at least 2 weeks. They say it's a serious threat to Georgia's #1 industry. And livelihoods of thousands of Georgians who make their living off the state's poultry industry. They're working around the clock to mitigate any further spread. Yeah, I mean, you think about Purdue Farms, right?
Right.
And you think about the other chicken stuff that's coming out of the south part of the United States. They once they start having to depopulate their affected
depopulate. That's it.
Yeah, their affected colonies of chickens. Then you've got some major issues there.
So how do they think the bird flu got into Georgia?
Birds, I would imagine.
Well,
I mean, if you think about it, if it's affecting both wild and domesticated birds or commercial, I call them crops, but basically poultry operations, commercial poultry operations, it's bird flu, and it's not only getting into birds, it's also getting into other mammals. Humans, yes.
Right.
We saw last week the Chicago Zoo. There was a seal that was affected and died. Mm-hmm. There was a flamingo at that same zoo that was affected and died. And so, I mean, the way that it's currently mutating and jumping from, I guess, species to species, it's not a good thing. No. It's not a good thing. And then here in Michigan, we've got the added challenge of the new legislation that says cage-free only birds with eggs, right, on the grocery store shelves. All of a sudden, eggs have become incredibly expensive if you can find them.
Right.
We went to a store this weekend. We were looking for eggs, chicken eggs. All that was available at the store we went to, duck eggs, which are fine. I like duck eggs.
Right.
They don't taste any different. They're just larger. It's kind of weird when you think about it, but try not to think about it. But I don't know. Bird flu. You like birds?
I do like birds. So I have seen this, and I don't have an answer. Is there a reason why we don't use turkey eggs?
That's a good one to research, because I saw something on Google.
I did too.
Why don't we eat turkey eggs?
Right.
And then I thought it was clickbait, so I didn't click into it.
It probably was.
Today is Martin Luther King. While you research that, I will give this announcement. Today is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. To observe the federal holiday, government offices across the state are closed. Same with public schools, most banks, and the post office will not have mail delivery. Also, I thought this was interesting. Heading into the weekend, this happened on Friday. Governor Gretchen Whitmer took some time to sign recent legislation into law. She also broke out the veto pen. Remember, there was a whole flurry of legislative activity late last year. Well, in total, 13 bills that were sent to her desk at the close of session in December were vetoed on Friday. One in law included a bill to make it easier for parolees to receive state IDs. Another was a bill that would have prevented certain unemployment fraud investigations from being released to the public. The governor also reportedly vetoed a bill sponsored to extend the weeks of unemployment from 20 to 26 weeks.
Yeah.
I thought that was a slam dunk from,
I did from what we had read. But
I mean, because you had the trifecta in December. And so you just figured all the legislation they were passing would just get signed into law. No. So we're going to dig up some more information on this.
So they say basically the reason why we don't eat turkey eggs is it's economically impractical.
Oh.
They don't lay enough eggs compared to chickens to make it a real industry. And so it's basically the slothfulness of turkeys.
The slothfulness of turkeys.
Because they're not kicking them out. They'd step it up like the chickens. We'd be golden, but it's lazy turkeys.
You know what we should probably do is bring back the ostriches and emus, because their eggs are huge.
Right.
So they could be slow like turkeys.
But just one egg would cover you for a week.
Cover a family.
All right.
Yeah, that'd be good. Just think of all the meringue you could whip up.
One egg or two.
Yeah. Would actually mean something these days. All right. It's the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg. Here with me this morning is Mike Wyble. We will continue in a moment. We've got the Bloomberg Market Minute coming up. The markets are closed today, but they'll still give us some.
The Market Minute will be really short.
They'll still give us some financial information. That's coming up. We'll have the latest from ABC News. ABC, by the way, we have special programming today coming up at 11 o'clock this morning and going till about 1 o'clock this afternoon, they expect, will be the inaugural ceremony. So if you want to hear all the pomp, circumstance, the pageantry, all that, the speeches, etc., all that will be broadcast live here on WSJM starting
Keep it at 94.9 FM.
Will be broadcast at 11 o'clock this morning. All right, it's the WSJM Morning Show. Back in a minute with more.
Would you call free checking that pays you cash?
You missed the show, didn't you, Mike?
I did. It's fun. We have fun.
He said, we have fun.
We have fun.
We have fun. All right. Are you on microphone today?
No, I'm just looking over there.
Okay.
Do you want me to be a microphone?
Well, you were saying something and we're on the video live stream and we couldn't hear you. I got yelled at last week because one of my guests was not on microphone.
Oh,
so I have to keep people on.
I hate that.
I got to keep people on microphone.
It's when people start talking and then they move their head away. I'll get out.
Let's see. What other closures do we have today? A whole bunch of close. Oh,
probably easier just to go with what's open today versus what's closed.
Exactly. What's open today? The radio station's open today.
We're open. We're here.
The roads are open today, even though they're a little bit slippery out there. What else we have?
I do have a PSA I'd like to share.
Let's hear it.
So, a family member, my mother, was the victim of a scam.
Oh, no.
Yep.
Really?
Yep. So
I'm sorry about that.
She was on her computer and all of a sudden got the screen popped up that said it was from Microsoft.
No.
And to call, which she did, which I've told her not to, but she did anyhow.
Yeah.
And the guy was there to say that he was from Microsoft and so glad that she called and that he was there to help her because in her words, there were bad people in Europe that were getting into her stuff.
When did this happen?
This happened last week Friday.
Jeez.
So long story short, basically this guy talked her into going to the bank and taking out $6,000 and then going to Lowe's and buying gift cards. And the reason for that justification to her was these people already had access to her accounts. So by pulling the money out, it would protect them from getting it. And Microsoft owned Lowe's, according to him. And so it would keep the money safe because Microsoft owned Lowe's, which, by the way, they don't.
Yeah.
So thankfully, in the story, in fact, the guy said that the bad people had gotten into her cell phone. So to hang up her landline and move to her cell phone so he could stop that. So he talked her all the way to the bank and then talked her to go to Lowe's. She went into Lowe's to try to buy these gift cards, and the manager, actually, they called for a manager because it was such a large amount.
Yeah.
The manager came and explained to her that it was a scam. And she was like, I don't think it is. And he was like, I refuse to sell you these gift cards.
Yeah.
And so he didn't sell her the gift cards, but he says this happens all day, every day at Lowe's.
Oh my
People
gosh.
coming in wanting to buy gift cards for this situation. Talked to another family member of mine, elderly family member, who had a friend who the same week, last week, had gone through the whole process, went to Lowe's, bought gift cards at Lowe's, and was one of their family members came in and found them putting the gift cards into an envelope to mail to this individual.
Oh my gosh.
And they were like, what are you doing? Well, I've got to do this. I've got to take it to the post office right away and overnight it. And it's just a constant, and it's all over the place, but people continue to just believe the best, that people are out there trying to help them. And it's scammers. So if somebody calls you to tell you that Microsoft is monitoring your electronics, unless you have a subscription with Microsoft, they are not.
Wow.
They just are not.
Oh, and part of thank you for sharing that. Part of the tragedy is as people get older, you don't want to be a burden on your sons, your daughters, other family members.
Right.
You want to be independent. You want to take care of everything yourself. And I get that. And it's sad that the scammers take advantage of that.
Right.
And they have their ways of conning you out of everything. I can't believe how many times so thankfully, what'd you do with your mom? How'd you coach?
Well, she came to my house on Friday, and there's back into that story, but she came to my house to tell me that this had happened. And when she was telling me the story, I was assuming at any point that she was going to be like, can you believe this? And then when she was like, so then I went to Lowe's, and I was like, you did not go to Lowe's.
Yeah.
And she was like, I did. And I'm like, do you realize that wasn't a good idea? And she goes, now saying it out loud, it really sounds like a bad idea. But at the time, it was very convincing.
Yeah, you get very caught up in it.
And so we actually called Lowe's and thanked the manager for not doing that.
That was a close one.
Yeah.
So she kept all her money this time.
She did. But
this time.
Yeah. But every year she's done the thing with where they called and told her she won during COVID. Won the Publishers Clearinghouse. And she had to put money in the bank to cover for the wire, and because they can't come to your house during COVID anymore, and so it just happened to be the exact amount of the stimulus check. And you're supposed to go to a Bank of America and put it in
wow.
Yeah.
So when somebody calls and you don't know them, hang up.
Right. or like we've said here on the show, if somebody calls and says they're from the police department and they're calling you, thank them.
Yeah.
And then call the police department on your own, find your number yourself, call them to verify whether this is true.
Yeah.
Because if it sounds fishy, it's fishy.
Yeah. That's just, you feel so helpless. You feel so helpless to help people in that situation because they're in the moment. They want to go do the right thing. They don't want to be a burden to others. But just stop, slow down, take a minute. Nothing's going to happen.
Right.
That's going to be irreversible unless you send that money away.
Right. And I think it's important too when somebody's pressuring you, you've got to do this in 10 minutes. You've got to do this right away.
Yeah.
The police are coming.
That's part of the sting.
Right. It's if anything that has to happen today is probably there's something not right about that.
All right, back to the show. It's the WSJM Morning Show.
Decade. Denise Pellegrini, Bloomberg Radio.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
And it's 7:34. The WSJM Morning Show continues. Good morning. Ken Lundberg here. Mike Wyble over there. Mike just shared a very good public service announcement about phone scams. Don't fall for them. Hang up the phone. Verify on your own before you do anything, especially with finances.
Right.
Just crazy. So if you missed any part of that, you can go back and listen on the video archive. We have it available on our Facebook and on our YouTube. In fact, we're right in the middle of our video live stream right now. You can catch unfiltered, unedited chit chat between Michael and I And that is coming up in just a moment. More of that. We've got news coming up from ABC in just a moment. And again, a special programming note from 11 o'clock to probably around 1 o'clock this afternoon. We will have the inaugural ceremonies. The live anchored coverage from ABC is coming up again at 11 o'clock this morning. So stay tuned for that. Temperature outside right now, 7 degrees in Benton Harbor, 8 degrees in St. Joseph, 8 degrees in South Haven. You may be experiencing a little bit of lake effect snow. The bands are coming through, making the roads a little bit slippery out there. It's also Martin Luther King Day in addition to the inauguration. And so a lot of things are closed today. So before you bundle up on, wearing 3 or 4 different layers of clothing, you might want to just call ahead to make sure where you're going is even open. Because if it's not, you make the trip, all that other kind of good stuff. Winter weather advisory continues for Berrien and Cass counties today until 7 o'clock tomorrow. A cold weather advisory is in effect for the entire area until 10 a.m. Wednesday. And then the forecast really just calls for cloudy skies, a chance of lake effect snow in your area. High around 8. Wind chill at -20 and west winds gusting up to 30 miles per hour. We'll keep that forecast for the next couple of days, although it's going to get colder tomorrow. All right, latest from ABC.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Sherry Preston. With the inauguration of Donald Trump just a few hours away, President Biden has issued a slew of preemptive pardons, including one for the man who led the nation through COVID and another who called Donald Trump a fascist. Here's ABC's Brian Clark.
A final flex of presidential powers. President Biden's pardoned Dr. Anthony Fauci, retired General Mark Milley, and members of the House January 6th committee. All of these people have been heavily criticized by President-elect Trump, who has hinted at revenge against them.
ABC's Karen Travers has a little more on what we know that Donald Trump will say during his second inaugural address.
Trump will say, according to excerpts provided by a senior advisor, quote, "I return to the presidency confident and optimistic that we are at the start of a thrilling new era of national success." He'll say a tide of change is sweeping the country.
Today's inauguration will be held inside the Capitol Rotunda because of the cold weather. This is ABC News.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
And the WSJM Morning Show continues. Good morning, 7:37 on your Monday, January 20th. I'm Ken Lundberg in the WSJM Newsroom. Some of the stories we're following today with Donald Trump being sworn in as president today. Area Congressman Bill Huizenga tells us he'll be there listening closely to the address, waiting to find out what Trump will say. Soon-to-be president's team saying Trump has already committed to more than 200 executive orders on day one. So we'll have the views from Area Congressman Bill Huizenga on that. The Michigan State House is set to vote this week on legislation intended to dial back a minimum wage increase resulting from a state Supreme Court ruling last year. So we'll have the latest from our area representatives, Joey Andrews and Brad Paquette, on that. And the Michigan Maritime Museum is getting ready for a full slate of events as part of the 2025 Icebreaker Festival in South Haven. They're going to have to break really hard.
Yeah.
Because the ice is going to be thick. That festival is coming up at the end of January. We'll give you a preview of what's coming up. That's coming up here in a couple of minutes on the WSJM Morning Show. Sports with Dave Wolf. Sorry, Lions fans. That's coming up after this look at state news.
The Michigan News Network.
I really thought there was, I have to imagine Lions fans thought there was no question that we'd get through the Commanders.
Right.
No question.
I called the Super Bowl was going to be the Lions and the Bills.
It was like going to be a bye game.
Right.
With the Commanders. Do you think they took that in, or was it just that the Lions had seen a heck of a season?
I think it was that, and I think that they've just been plagued by injuries.
Yeah. And
injuries that day as well. But at the beginning of the year, certainly into the first part of the year, they had probably the best defense and offense in the NFL, and just horrible setbacks with injuries on their defense. Offense was still kicking, but just it hurt them.
So there we go. We'll have another year. Yeah. So. All right. So
now we can look into the Pistons.
Well, I was going to ask, do you have any fans or do you have any fan favorites for who's left for the Super Bowl?
Well, I think at this point, the Bills will win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The big game, as they call it.
The big game.
The big game.
And then tonight is Notre Dame and Ohio State.
National championship. Again, another sleeper game that I thought, why are they playing this?
It seems like they've played so many times already, but
well, they did the Orange Bowl. They had a bowl before that. I can't remember what game that was.
Now it's the whole playoffs of the college football.
Why do they call them all bowls? I mean, I thought a bowl was kind of the crescendo on a season.
Well, it was, but now they've changed it, and I'm sure it had nothing to do with money.
Yeah.
But they changed it from all these little bowl games all over the place to becoming more of a playoff for the national championship.
Yeah. Super Bowl is going to be in New Orleans. Yeah. Do we have a game tonight? Is there a game tonight? No.
Of what?
Football.
Yeah, it's the Notre Dame Ohio State game.
Oh no, so we're done with the national stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, we've got Monday night. Yeah, there's a game tonight.
Oh, okay. All right. Confirm that, would you? Because
I am. I'm looking.
Okay. I am confirming it.
I am.
It's 7:41. We've got 19 minutes before 8:00, and we are hoping to connect with some people who are at the inauguration. A lot of folks from Southwest Michigan were going over on a bus.
Really?
Yeah, to the inauguration. So we're hoping to catch up with those folks. Let's see.
It'd be nice if they were listening on the bus to WSJM 94.9 and send us a little hand wave.
Yeah, and if they are, and if they do, we'll talk about it. Okay. Yeah, so looking at what we just heard about on the national news, we'll talk about this in a second, but some preemptive. I've never heard of a preemptive pardon before.
It's become a thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Which I don't know how you can do that. It doesn't seem to be quite, hey, if you ever do anything wrong in the next 10 years, you're good.
It's interesting. Let's see here. Okay. All right. Catching up on the video live stream. Diane says, good morning, everyone. Be safe today. Have a great Monday. Thank you, Diane. You be safe as well and stay warm. John says 16 degrees here in Memphis, Tennessee. Can they handle the cold in Memphis, John? I often think of Tennessee as a warmer weather place.
Yeah.
It's a little south, but not too far south. So they probably get good snowfall. Let's see who else. A few other folks just saying hello out there. So good morning. We've got some snow flurries happening from the lake effect snow. Looks like the plows have been through to clean the accumulation off the roadways, but still, when I was driving down Niles Avenue this morning, it was pretty much just a sheet of ice. What'd you find?
No Monday Night Football tonight.
Okay. All right. Do you know how many teams are left in the hunt?
I believe it's just 4.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Is Taylor Swift happy? Did you see she was hanging with Caitlin Clark this weekend?
Yeah, I did see that.
That's a power duo.
Yeah. Caitlin got that phone call. I guess her people were like, yo, you're going to a football game.
Let's see. Okay, so the Commanders are going to play the Eagles next week on Sunday. The Bills are going to play the Chiefs next Sunday as well. And then the Super Bowl will be TBD. So you're thinking Eagles, Bills? Is that what you said?
I figured the Bills are going to be there, but...
So you think the Bills are going to beat the Chiefs?
Mm-hmm.
But Taylor is on the Chiefs.
I know.
Taylor Swift.
But...
Okay. All right. And she had Caitlin Clark in the studio or in the.
I know they're stacking.
They're
stacking the celebrity suite. But
all right, we're going to get back to the WSJM morning show here in just a moment. We'll talk about the preemptive pardons and everything else.
So now it's time to move on to college basketball. That's the. Come on. Listen.
When was the last time college basketball was exciting?
Every year it's exciting.
Do you watch paint dry for a living?
March Madness. You watch March Madness?
I know it exists.
Okay.
All right. We'll be right back.
Keep in mind, visibility and road conditions will not be great through the day. High temperatures today around 8 to 10 degrees, but wind chills at times near minus 20. We drop down to 0 tonight and only 3 tomorrow, still with lake effect snow showers ongoing. I'm WSBT 22 Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
It's 7:45. It's the WSJM Morning Show. Good morning. I'm Ken Lundberg. Here with me this morning, Mike Wyble. 7 degrees in Benton Harbor, 8 in St. Joseph, 8 in South Haven. It hasn't moved much. What did move was, and we heard the news story earlier this hour about President Joe Biden pardoned one of his last acts in office, maybe the last act.
Yeah.
Not sure. He has issued a number of preemptive pardons, which I didn't know you could do that. President Joe Biden has pardoned Dr. Anthony Fauci, retired General Mark Milley, and members of the House Committee, the U.S. House of Representatives Committee, that investigated the January 6th attack on the Capitol, using the what are called the extraordinary powers of his office. I would say untested powers.
Yes.
Of his office in his final hours to guard against potential revenge by the incoming administration. Does that strike you as sour?
Yeah, slightly.
A little bit? I mean,
because if they've done nothing wrong, it doesn't matter about revenge. If they've done nothing wrong, then there's
then they have nothing to worry about because
Right.
they have the Justice Department, the system of justice to go through. The decision by Biden comes after Donald Trump warned of an enemies list filled with those who have crossed him politically or sought to hold him accountable for his attempt to overturn the 2020 election loss and his role in storming the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021. Trump has selected cabinet nominees who backed his election comments, who have pledged to punish those involved with the efforts to investigate him. It seems like some of that was hyperbole on the campaign trail.
Right.
And to take it to this extreme where you're now going to reach in to another body of the check and balance of U.S. government, the executive branch, reaching in to preemptively protect a member of the U.S. House of Representatives who was part of an investigation from something that hasn't even been filed anywhere.
Right.
Just seems a little bit, I don't know, untoward.
Well, and the appointment hearing for Pam Bondi, when they asked her about this whole enemies list,
right?
She said she wasn't aware of an enemies
right.
list, and under her leadership, there would not be anything
right.
like that would be permitted or allowed. Yeah. And
she's been nominated. Pam Bondi, the former state attorney general in Florida, has been nominated to be the U.S. attorney general.
Correct.
And so
she seemed like a tough cookie.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, she served Florida. She served Florida well. Had the opportunity to meet with her when she was on the campaign trail a long time ago.
You did?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're like a man about town.
I just
done the
I'm like Forrest Gump. I'm like Forrest Gump. I'm just happen to be in these places. It's like, oh, look at that meteor crashing by. Have not been in a meteor crash.
Oh well.
But I was heartened that there was a picture of Mount St. Helens the other day when it erupted back in 1980, and I shared that with one of my sons, and I said, "Hey, look at this! I remember I was there for that." And he said, "Oh, we're studying that in school." I felt really old.
Yeah.
Well, that's in our history class.
U.S. history.
Oh, geez. The issuance of these pardons should not be mistaken as an acknowledgement that any individual engaged in any wrongdoing, nor should acceptance be misconstrued as an admission of guilt for any offense, Biden said in his statement. Our nation, which, by the way, Biden saying in a statement anything right now is just his staff saying, here's what you should say. Sign this, please, sir.
Right.
Will you sign this, please, sir? Our nation owes these public servants a debt of gratitude for their tireless commitment to our country. Again, customary for the president to grant clemency at the end of his term, that is, but those acts of mercy are usually offered to Americans, everyday Americans who have been convicted of crimes, sometimes wrongfully. But Biden has used his power in the what they say is the broadest and most untested way possible to pardon those who have not been investigated, not charged with anything, just part of the political campaign rhetoric that's out there.
It's disappointing.
It's a bit odd, to say the least, and definitely probably disappointing to many who are standing by watching. these guys weren't accused of anything. Are you admitting that they did something wrong and therefore they should be pardoned preemptively?
Right.
Before somebody investigates them? Just very odd. 7:49, it's the WSJM Morning Show. We'll be back in just a moment. We've got the Moody on the Market update coming up next.
Yes, we do.
Rich Brand and Tara Halsey from Insurance Management Service, your local auto owner's insurance agent.
I don't like to get too political on the show, but this is it just seems ridiculous.
It does. It does. And
we're going to pardon somebody before they get...
If you did something wrong, you should be accountable for it. To me, this is why young people have lost so much confidence in our political system, is because people get away with stuff. You're not held
young
accountable.
People. What about everybody?
Well, I know for my kids, though. I mean, you talk to them and they're like, but, it's sort of like what we talked about with entertainment and the NFL and all. It seems like so much of it is somewhat fixed.
Yeah.
All
right. Let's see here. We've got the...
So what's Tara Halsey got to talk about today?
The Moody on the Market update. We're going to hit Niles Scream Park and scholarships.
All right.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Be back in just a moment.
On WSJM.
7:50, it's time for your Moody on the Market update. It's brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owner's insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. One of the stories that we have up on the moodyonthemarket.com website right now, the Niles Scream Park is notifying high school students around Southwest Michigan about the scholarships it is providing this year. The nonprofit attraction, Niles Scream Park, devotes much of its revenue each year to charities and scholarships, especially for graduating high school students. It says it's awarding 4 $500 scholarships to 3 Niles High School seniors and 1 at Brandywine High School. Also, several $500 scholarships will be awarded to seniors at one or more of the following schools: Brandywine, Buchanan, Dowagiac, Edwardsburg, Lakeshore, Niles, a couple others there. One $500 scholarship will be awarded to a senior at Penn High School in Mishawaka.
Wow.
So, I mean, Niles Scream Park, they take in visitors from all over the region.
Yeah.
It's a very established, very popular, very successful Scream Park. And as mentioned in the story at moodyonthemarket.com, they use a lot of that money for charities and nonprofits and scholarships. And so they're putting the word out there that they have a number of named scholarships that they are providing. The application period, you can get more information right there at the article, moodyonthemarket.com. But check it out. So good on you for Niles Scream Park for putting out some more scholarships and for making those available to kids not only in Niles and Buchanan, but for all over the region.
All over
the region.
Very cool.
Moody on the Market update is brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owner's insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. We've got more on the WSJM Morning Show coming up next.
Hey, you got any gum? Yeah, check my backpack. What's this?
All right.
So I just got a text from your friend of mine, Brett Witkowski.
Yeah, I know Brett.
Yep. And he sent me a picture of a LED screen temperature report in St. Joe of 84 degrees Fahrenheit.
84. Did he really?
He did.
Oh, no. Where was that?
That's what I asked him. He said St. Joe.
Let's see
here.
A
little more help would be good other than just St. Joe. But
let's see. Do you recognize that building? I see the sidewalk.
Yep.
I see the railing there. Yeah, it's like a big monitor, TV monitor screen, right? I don't understand. Maybe they're looking at Florida. No, they can't be looking at Florida because even Florida's cold right now.
Right. You'd have to go to like South America to get 84.
Let's see. What do we have here? Ohio State's Ryan Day has conspiracy theory about CFP officials and proof to back his claims. Have you seen this?
No.
The college football playoffs. They met Sunday morning. This is from USA Today. They met Sunday morning as a winter storm rolled through the city, an omen to the brewing controversy within the college football playoff. This isn't about the CFP Board of Managers and Management Committee meeting to analyze format. It was about officiating. Ohio State coach Ryan Day has been wearing out Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petitti about officiating since late September, according to anonymous sources. Day is sending game tape using specific metrics. He's calling the league office and personally bending the ear of both Petitti and Bill Carollo, the Big Ten's widely respected coordinator of officials since 2008. Now there's a new twist, they say. SEC officials will be used to officiate Monday's national championship game against Notre Dame, and Day is not happy. He says the playoff committee is going to learn some different things about what needs to be done in a lot of areas, he said on Saturday during Media Day. I know that Commissioner Petitti is certainly looking at those things. Apparently, at top of mind right now are SEC officials and the entire SEC collaborative replay process working the championship game. Apparently, because the SEC and the Big Ten are fierce rivals on and off the field, and they have issues about how they officiate. He says, I don't want to open a can of conspiracy. Well, anyway, why are you griping about the officials before the game even starts?
Yeah, well, I think he's
is he getting ready for it?
Yeah.
You think he's going to lose?
I don't know. All right. But
we'll be right back. It's the WSJM Morning Show.
9 WSJM FM Benton Harbor, St. Joseph. Depend on us. The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
7:56, just 4 minutes before 8 o'clock. We'll have the latest ABC news. Now, I was just taking a look at USA Today, and they're talking about the championship game tonight. Ohio State's Ryan Day has a conspiracy theory about college football playoff officials. He says he has proof to back the claims. You haven't even played the game yet. Why are you being a distraction like this?
He's wound up. He's had a bad run the past month, and so he's...
But how do you have a bad run and end up in the national championship?
It's just sometimes you fall into things.
Anyway, so some claims about the officiating and the replay and all that other stuff. So if you're watching the game tonight, enjoy and just know there will be some extra eyes watching the officials. So one way or another, I don't know. I mean, Notre Dame's pretty strong. You think they're going to beat Ohio State tonight?
There's a good chance. They definitely seem like they've peaked at the end of the season. So,
yeah. Okay. All right. Other articles that we're following, we just talked a few minutes about the pardons, the preemptive pardons that President Joe Biden has issued in his final hours as president, because today's inauguration day at noon today. President-elect Donald Trump will be sworn in at the Capitol. But, yeah. So it'd be interesting to see what happened. Biden is set to leave the White House today before Trump is sworn in as the 47th president. He's not revealed his post-presidency plans, but has promised he will remain active. He intends to write a book. The White House has confirmed that he is going to write a book.
Somebody will write a book for him.
Following his presidency. As I close out this journey with you, I'm just as passionate about our work as I was when I was a 29-year-old kid. When I got elected, I wasn't old enough to serve yet. I'm in no ways tired, the 82-year-old said. He says, nobody told me the road would be easy. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me. My fellow Americans, I don't think the good Lord brought us this far to leave us behind. So I'm not sure what he's talking about there, but that's what the president is saying on his way out.
That's what he's saying, and he's sticking to it.
That's his story, and he's sticking to it today. All right, so enjoy the special programming. We'll have that later today, again, starting at 11 o'clock and going till 1 o'clock. ABC News will have our live coverage right here on WSJM. And just a reminder, you can take WSJM with you wherever you go, whether you have a radio or not.
You can download the app. I've downloaded the app on my phone.
It's very convenient.
It is.
It's very convenient.
Just jump right on there, but you could also go to YouTube or Facebook, follow, and subscribe.
Yeah.
Hit that notification bell so that when we're live, you know it, and you don't miss out on any of our blathering.
That's right. We blather about a lot of stuff. I love that word. I'm glad they didn't ban that this year.
Yeah, that could have been bad.
Yeah, blathering. 7:59 weather forecast for today. A winter weather advisory continues for Berrien and Cass counties today until 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. That is just the winter weather advisory. That has nothing to do with the cold weather. There's a cold weather advisory in effect until 10 a.m. Wednesday.
Right.
So we're going to experience these bitterly cold temperatures, not normal for our area. Mostly cloudy otherwise today. A chance of lake effect snow continuing throughout the day. A high today around 8 degrees, and winds. The chill is going to be around -20 because we're going to see west winds gust to 30 miles per hour. So that's going to give us some serious wind chills. We've got the latest national and international news from ABC News right now. Our local news is coming up next. Good morning. It's 8 o'clock.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Just hours.
All right. And for those of you watching on the video live stream, thank you.
Thank you very much for being here today.
We appreciate you. Like, follow, subscribe.
Notification bell, 94.9 WSJM, News Talk Sports.
Did we see Teresa today? Where's Teresa?
I have not seen her today.
Well, Teresa, if
wellness check. Should we do a wellness check?
If you're out there and you just forgot to type to us today, we say good morning to you anyway.
Good morning, Teresa.
Diane and Bill and John and everyone else, we thank you for joining. Stuart, continue driving safely today. It's the WSJM live stream. We will be back in 23 hours. Yeah, 23 hours. We'll be back.
I won't.
Oh, you won't. Sorry. Yeah, tomorrow. Who do we have coming in? Oh, a representative of Lake Michigan College to talk about careers and some soft skill boot camps.
Boot camps
that they've got. They're really popular. It's teaching young people and seasoned people alike how to act in the professional workplace.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that and more coming up tomorrow on the WSJM Morning Show. We've got another hour left today. We'll be back in just a minute on the radio.